Welcome to True League 7th Division Playoff Final. It's a best of 5 as you can see here. The maps, they didn't use the map draft, I think. Or the league maybe lost, but here we go. The neutral starting map that I banned down to is going to be Hideout, so it's going to be the first game on Hideout. Well, I don't have a link to that one, but it doesn't matter. We have the map list. And then dying to the war picked Arena and Team Islands. Whereas Backseat Boys has gone for a more hybrid water approach and gone for 4 lakes and Mediterranean. Yeah, fair enough. Hideout, first map. Can we expect to see Saracens there, maybe? Bengalis wouldn't be too bad on flank, and Teutons would make a good civilization for Hideout as well. But that could be an arena civ, more like this one, but Bengalis as well. Okay, Saracens. I'd say for Hideout at least, even for the water maps, even if there are water maps. Mayans and Poles could be good contenders as well. Backseat Boys. Probably using these for the naval maps. Inca's a random pick there, could be probably not too bad for Hideout, who knows. Not quite sure what they want to go for here. They're gonna need a solid cavalry pocket, maybe Burgundian, since it's a closed off map like Hideout. Franks would be good as well. Could be Frank's pocket for Hideout as well, actually. But yeah, let's just dive into it and see what the first game brings. Here we are with Hideout. Backseat Boys versus Dying to the Boar. Now our first flank player here is Kualolo in the teal, playing as the Burmese on flank. Kind of smells like Men at Arms and Towers to me, or a quick Castle Age into a Monk Siege push, because the Burmese get a discount to the Monk technologies. They also drop wood faster, so you could get away with fewer on wood, at least from the Feudal Age onwards, when the instant lumber or lumberjack upgrades start kicking in. We have Hayemo in the pocket playing as the slabs here. And obviously a solid close map civilization, good late game infantry options, fantastic economy with the faster working farmers, unique technology that lets you build castles at a stone discount, trading on the stone cost for wood as well. See them keeping the gate open here to lure in the deer. Useful, these sheep can be used for scouting, can be used to keep gates open. They're really domesticated, aren't they? Oh, is Jaime going to push in all the deer first? I'm not too sure about that. And this guy could easily escape now. He's gonna escape! Yeah. That's why it's better to do one at a time. Anyway, Slab's pocket here. Fast Castle Knights, Fast Castle Boom, both decent options. We'll see what they bring us later on. In the blue, we have Poivro in the blue as Ethiopians here. Making the most of the sheep here, going heavy on the food. Ethiopians get 100 food, 100 gold once they reach the next age as well. So they could definitely pull off some nice and early straight archers play for Hideout, or our starters if you prefer. Maybe not the strongest one in team gameplays, because the pocket will also meddle in with some cavalry and could even go fast castle if their flank is subject to tower rush. So then that could be easily dealt with some pocket help. But straight archers combined with some pocket cavalry, definitely a way to go on Hideout, which is by definition a closed map, I guess, but because it's only palisades and not stone walls, still always a risk that you will get your walls broken early on. Alright, let's see for Dying to the Boar. We have Hoopla with the Britons here. Should match up decently against the Ethiopians from the Castle Age onwards, because Britons archery range, or rather archers line, are granted 1 extra range once you reach the Castle Age, so it will always outrange any other Archer civilization, and in the Imperial Age another +1, so very annoying bonus to deal with the Britons. Also 10% faster working archery ranges as the team bonus would benefit archers and cavalry archers, and for that matter skirmisher play as we go on. Cheaper town hunters as well, so easy to get a boom going with the Britons compared to many other civilizations. Expecting archers from both these sides, classic archer civilizations. If it's feudal age or castle age, that remains to be seen. Paddling in the pocket here with the poles. Slakta privileges, or Slata privileges, comes to mind. The unique technology from the castle that lets you produce the knight and later in the Imperial Age the cavaliers at a 60% gold discount, which means they're basically free compared to other knights at least. Are you gonna take the fight? Oh, are they gonna fight? Are they gonna fight? I didn't come to mind for you. Fair enough. And of course the folwark economy. Once you start seeding farms around your folwark, you're going to have get an instant 10% of the food income from the farm once the farm's complete. Which means it's even more important to get horse collar and heavy plow earlier on as the poles to get the most out of that early farm bonus. You play the game with 0 bonuses. Fair enough. Not all of them need to be activated though, like the folwark that just kicks in instantly. Mike G on the other side with the Saracens as expected for hideout. Archers with a bonus damage against buildings as a team bonus, going to benefit the Britons as well, of course. I see the barracks going up here on the flanks, at least for Poivron over here. Also 1 on gold with Ethiopians, that should be sufficient to get the first few archers out still, because of that 100 food, 100 gold bonus once you enter the next stage. Not trying to hide anything away here, the barracks going up right on the wall there, so Hoopla could scout that, but he's going to expect the archers from the Ethiopians anyway, I think. Village kicking in earlier for Hoopla here, so he's going to be first to dropping the archery range as well. 1 villager building that one. Let's have a look at what the Ethiopians player will do. Looks like 2 villagers going to build that one, maybe even 3 to keep up with Hoopla's 1 villager constructing this one is about halfway there, but with 3 villagers building these 2 ranges, it could still be doing okay. Povrov leads away, has lost some HP to Hoopla's earlier feudal age scout here, gets higher stat once you reach the next stage, so wisely pulls away there and is going to complete archery range before Hoopla can get any archers produced. Actually, maybe a little bit too late to gold, or his wood economy is a bit off or something. Maybe just forgot to queue the archers here, but here we go. Left hand side, however, top side, we have Kualolo with the Burmese men-at-arms towers as expected, or soon to be men-at-arms, maybe at arms towers here. It's a bit short on food for the men-at-arms upgrade, prioritizing villagers here, but it's probably gonna get to it. Good defense from Mike G here, getting the defensive castle up just where Kualolo was placing it, so it's not going to get through just yet. But with 4 villagers forward for Hoopla, unless he lost some. No, 4 villagers forward for Hoopla. And 5 for Mike G. Hoopla is indirectly at an eco advantage here, or not an eco advantage, but it's idling more villagers for Mike than he's using himself. Immediately moves away, tries to find another opening here. I have no idea what that red villager is doing all over there for Mike G, but she's gonna be hunted down by the Burmese +1 attack militia here that are about to become men-at-arms. So that's the first villager kill for Kualolo here. Down was the archer as well. In this case, I think... Okay, maybe since the men-at-arms have +1 for the Burmese, it makes sense to go for the palisades with the men-at-arms, but usually I would go with the villagers because they have higher bonus attack against buildings. Let's see them. 3 bonus attack against buildings. I don't know what makes the better. 3 bonus attack, 3 + 3, or 6 + 1 with 2 bonus attack. Probably the men-at-arms. Speaking of men-at-arms, they are going to be cleaned up here, but the archers, would they be able to clean up here? Padlin, let's go for the scouts as well, which honestly is working out well here. Should be able to chase down the forward villagers and the men-at-arms together with the archers here and efficiently stop Guarolo's forward tower attempt here. Has managed to get a healthier economy rolling at home base, more so than the Saracens, I would have to say, but the Saracens have the market. It's only 75 wood for the market for the Saracens, so once Mike G decides to place a market here, he could trade some of that, lots of gold, to get more archers out, and I would say trade his way to fletching as well, but fletching is already out. 11 archers for the Ethiopians here against a roughly similar number for Hoopla. However, Hoopla has more consistent double stable production here. Hayabo, behind all this, has gone straight for the Castle Age. He's gonna go for stone for some bowyars as well, perhaps. Maybe just a giga boom with more stone in the back for town centers. Not going to see any pocket military just yet. Why aren't we seeing any additional town centers here? The wood situation is a bit on the low side. That mining camp doesn't make any sense to me, but he obviously wants to get castles up. As Kualola has lost one of the forward villagers as well. 1-1 in the villager department. Mike G maybe getting a little bit stressed out of the pressure though, as he has more idle town center time than Kualola by small margins, but yeah, they're kind of matching in the eco department here, except Kualola has a more varied economy at home compared to the case of Mike G here. And since Kualola is also still collecting stone, could also go for a forward castle eventually and get into Arambai production. But the towers aren't really doing too much now. It's been well defended by Mike G over here. No success for the Ethiopian archers thus far. We have some slabs knights out and about now, so and eventually we're going to see the castle as well. Maybe they'll go forward castle on the Britons from the pocket position. That would be an option to apply some pressure here. Oh, some free archers kills here for Kualola as well. Slowly progressing here. As the archers try to pick off the weak villagers, but they'll also heal up inside of the towers, so as long as you constantly pull your villagers back and don't let the archers focus them down, you're fine. It's getting close though for Kualola. Might lose more villagers here. Only lost one so far, so decent forward efforts there. Knights now joining in, dying to the board. Got 2 players on the way to the Castle Age. That is Padlin in the pocket and Hoopla with the Britons as well, which is going to be a huge advantage with the Castle Age kicking in here. More archers for Hoopla, also going to get that extra range for the Britons. You can see that Saracens bonus really... it's not Saracens actually, Britons has the Saracens ally. It looked like the Saracens bonus there, breaking the palisade that fast, but anyway. Overall decides not to engage over here and pulls the archers back, seeing the numbers of Hoopla here still. Hasn't really taken any damage at home base here. All 3 forward villagers still alive for Kualola here. Desperate to get that forward tower up, but maybe you could take that foundation out with the Saracens archers and the bonus here. Still at 85%, we're getting there. And archers going down in the process. Mike has lost 12 units so far, so the towers are doing work here for Kualola after all. Second town center for the slabs, probably with enough stone to drop a castle soon, wherever that might be. That would be a... If you want to go forward castle here, I guess it would make sense to drop it right on the Britain's production here. Uh-oh, knights pulling away. I don't know if I like that for backseat boys here. Padlin just casually passing through there. Those scouts should definitely go down to the archers here. Poles, the bonus. Scouts getting bonus damage against archers as well, worth noting. As we have Mike G approaching the Castle Age as well, dropping a second range, has the market to trade resources here as well. Has been heavy on the gold, but has been using the market to tweak those resources. Kualola gets this castle up, again focuses. Archers yet again is being a proper annoyance here, is sort of denying Mike G the opportunity of counter-attacking at his home base here. So his aggression is working. Can stage in for the Burmese. Do we have enough stone for a castle? Not really. I wonder what Kualolo's follow-up is gonna be here. He's somewhat heavy on the, or has been collecting lots of gold, so Monk's not completely out of the question over here. But now just going to collect that forward stone. Some pocket knights joining in here though, so if they get to these villagers, that should be another annoyance that Kualolo needs to deal with. +2 defense in, so the knights won't be taking any particular damage to the towers either. So now for the stone in the side instead. Okay, what Kualolo is doing here is actually denying basically all of the stone for the Saracens here, so it's not going to be easy for Mike G to get any defensive fortifications up here. Not towers, not castles, but he has a decent group of crossbows. Yep, deleting the house, gonna delete the palisades as well. Is it gonna be enough? The knights coming in here as well, but Kualolo could quick wall those guys in. Crossbows, however, would shoot over the walls. Castle, not quite there yet. There are some towers here protecting this castle drop as well. Castle not in an optimal spot, and the knights get through. The knights get through, and this castle will not be built just yet. Good defense, good teamwork from flying to the wall here to prevent this castle, this Burmese castle from going. Maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe it will complete after all. The knights joining in again. Quick walls not quite working out for Kualolo here. More and more villagers going down. 8 villagers down. Forward villagers inside of the towers. How many of them now? 3 total, and the castle still only at 54%. That is an issue. Britain's crossbows now for Hoopla down on the south side here. Somewhat matched in numbers by Poivro. However, the Britons have that extra range, which is going to be a proper pain in the ass for Poivron to deal with. Is assisted by some Slavs cavalry here, +2 defense in for those. Mangonel defense shouldn't really work against Britons because the Britons outrange the Mangonels, but you never know if you're too busy focusing down single crossbows. You could still risk getting some of those catapult stones in your face. No, good army control here from Hoopla. Get some hits in on the Mangonel as well, and leaves the blue player in the off position here. Both players about to have ballistics soon. Hoopla having the ballistics advantage will hit moving targets more easily for now. But Ethiopians catching up, already had a faster firing rate as well, and has access to thumbing as well for even better accuracy and faster firing, much faster rate. For some forward aggression here, Kualolo trying for a defensive castle now, had to delete the forward one to get that happening, has a second 1000 up as well, a third one going up down south, but if dying to the worst spot this castle attempt going up, the crossbows could still deny that from happening, either through pushing through the weak palisade gate here, or just to hit it from the edges. But the clock is ticking, this castle is at 60%. Kualolo not taking any chances now, it's small walling in the villagers again. Here come the knights, crossbows, and probably not deny this castle in time, but we'll see. How well are you able to focus fire the villagers building here? It's 9 villagers, it's probably not worth the risk. Could still push the town center outside of the walls here, but the castle is providing some nice defensive cover fire here as well. Some crossbows going down to that aggression, but then what do? Maybe just move on to the pocket and pressure the Slavs player at home instead to obstruct the Knights and Bowyar's progression a little bit, production a little bit. Paemo with a defensive castle for the Slavs now in Poivron's core economy. Good teammate right there, securing at least the stone over here, and this allowing the Britons further access into the base. Yeah, pushing what can be pushed here, not getting any help from the pocket cavalry here. Might G, but might not need it as well. Quite a few of the villagers of Orolo at risk of going down here now. 2 mangonels and the crossbows pushing here. Saracen's crossbows bonus damage against buildings as well. So this town center should be going down quickly. Arabai in production now for the Vermees. Don't really see how that adds up against full archers play from both flanks. It's going to be tough to hold it away here. Ah, bonsoir. Roi des poivres. Poivro. We are casting the games indeed. What's a poivro? Does that have anything to do with poor, like poivro, or...? I'll have to look that up. Oh, it's pepper. King of pepper, then. Okay. Nice. Peppers are good. And that's just poles for you, Podlin. That's beautiful poles. Food economy will let you do these things. A little bit of a miscommunication in Arvis here, and the Yellow Knights are trapped inside of Akkal-AOE space. Fantastic! That's going to give a massive, great trade for backseat boys here with the mix of knights and boyars here for Hayemo. The Yellow Knights can't get out, so they can't help the red crossbows against the green cavalry armies. Good cleanup, military situation, not looking too bad for backseat boys. They are just a tiny bit behind dying to the war now, even with their... Can we call it failed feudal age aggression attempts? I guess Akkal-AOE had some success up north, keeping the Saracens at home for so long. Dying to the war, however, more consistent economy production behind this. But the lead they have in the economy may be most of all because of the eco kills they've managed to pull off, especially with Padlin's raids with the Pulse Knights, making good use of the cavalry there. Stabs castle going up. Do we have the unique technology this early for the stabs? No. That's not in yet. It's an expensive one, but it does allow you to build castles more at a cheaper cost later on. Oh, in the meantime, I didn't notice Tupla is indeed in the Imperial Age. So it's just been keeping the RB count safe at home base, not applying too much pressure, just comfortably gaining a technology lead over the Ethiopians here. Going to deal with the defensive fortification of Hayemo here, the castle, because there aren't really any players in the Imperial Age yet for backseat boys. Really bad news for Poivron here, with 3 Britain's trebuchets pushing now and a larger mass of Britain's arbalest now with 5+5 range compared to the crossbows with only 5+2 here for Ethiopians. Faster firing range isn't going to help you in that case. And if the trebuchets now focus the town center right away, the Imperial Age will be lost for Poivron as well. This is disaster for the blue player if this town center goes down. That's the Imperial Age town center. It goes down at 60 before 60% research. That's obviously going to... No, he cancelled it to research it elsewhere. Makes sense. Anyway, still 60% lost. That hurts. That hurts a lot. And now look at that. Nothing to defend the crossbow armies here. Where's the pocket cavalry? Where are the cavalry units of Hayemo? They are on the north side, perhaps, but getting cleaned up by the yellow cavalry of Padlin. Well played by dying to the boar here. Taking the 1-0 on the neutral starting map here. Yeah, I would tilt hard at losing the ImpTC as well. Good pressure from Hoopla. Britain's not many archer civilizations can compete with them. And we also have it boosts the Saracens archers production as well with the 10% faster work rate. 73-11 for Hoopla's KD here. That's has to do with must have been great micromanagement of units, but also it obviously helps to have the extra range of the Britons. That massive cleanup of military there. Barely taking any losses at all. Straight cast late for the Slavs there. Earlier knights helped out a little bit in the early fights, but in the end, the extended feudal age of dying to the boar allowed them to build up their armies more consistently and win the game with only one player reaching the Imperial Age. In fact, so that's Hoopla right there. Let's check out the civilizations used here. That would be the Saracens, Poles, where are you? Well, Britons, and the Poles against the Ethiopians, Slavs, and what was the last one again? Greece. Can't wait for the strange uncles next season, says Epitiandio. So that's gonna be our name then. Interesting. Next stop going to be either Four Lakes or Mediterranean. So obviously going to see some naval civs here. Either of these maps would benefit all of these first 6 civilizations. Whereas Supla's team, Four Lakes would likely be Dravidians, the team bonus giving 5 pop space per dock. Byzantines and Malay and Vikings, all good contenders as well. But maybe you want some civilization that could dominate on land as well. So you could also have Spanish, for example, for a land civilization for Mediterranean. But let's see what comes first. I think the first, in the way they listed it, it's Four Lakes, so it could be Four Lakes now. In which case I expect to see Persians, Malians, Lithuanians, stuff like that. Four Lakes it is. And we'll just hop right into this one as well. Right, we've had a change of player. Lavalarm coming in for Hoopla here for this one. Whereas Backseat Boys stay with the same team lineup. Aztecs on flank for dying to the boar. Would not be my first pick for Four Lakes, I have to say. But they do have access to arbalists. They have mighty infantry and they have the Eagle Warrior for raiding potential as well. Obviously, strongest monks in the game as well. So if you make it to the castle age, you could do some monk siege shenanigans. Military produces faster as well. Could be useful for both naval and land fighting. But I don't understand the pick. Relics may not that easily accessible either. We have 3 relics sort of on dying to the war side. Aztecs get 33% extra gold from relics. But yeah, I'm assuming they're at least going to open with the straight archers here. Or men-at-arms actually, men-at-arms archers. On 4 Lakes, which could... It's a little bit of a random game of whether you get an easily wallable map or a very open map with just one wood line. Yeah, it's decent enough. The docks produce the military units faster as well. It's going to be a battle for the relics though, because Lithuanians will want the relics as well, maybe even more so than the Aztecs, as Lithuanians get +1 attack per relic up until +4 additional attack for their knights, line, and lightists. Powerful scouts opening. What you also could do with Lithuanians, at least before their starting 150 food was changed to 100, you could go straight to wood with all your first 5 builders to rush up a dock and get your fish boom kick started nice and early. Aztec Relic is team bonus, so Lithuanians get bonus for it in a way. Yeah, but Aztecs need gold arguably more than Lithuanians because they have lackluster trash units compared to Lithuanians. But yeah, fair enough. Ooh, we can actually build the boars here, that's funny. I like that. What is that placement? Berries, 2 boars, and hunt right next to the mill spot. Actually, unfortunate that the boar was attacked there. You could have just milled it over there and not lost too much of it. But of course, you don't want weak exposed villagers right next to your mill. So maybe it was a little bit of a misclick there. But that's it's a lot of food collected in one place. For the purple player, Mike G is going to go for the Mayans here. So Mayans and Aztecs for this one. Mayans, cheaper archers, longer lasting resources. Match command doesn't work for casting anyway. And what else for Mayans? Cheaper walls. So that arguably helps with team walling. Dying to the boar, living up to their name here. Even starting with Loom as the Mayans as you start, pop capped with the scout and 4 villagers. That boar lure was a bit on the unfortunate side, so ritual sacrifice for the Mayans there. You'd think Aztecs might go for that, but yep. To lose 1 villager to the mighty boar. Maybe there was a bit of scouts fighting going on this side or something. Sneak Dock down south from Mike G wants to contest the pond right away, and that makes sense because there's lots of deep fish here that you want to collect, obviously. Probably about 10,000 food with the shorefish here. So yeah, unless that gets scouted by Poivron, he's gonna be in trouble here with the food income with the Japanese. Even though the Japanese fishing ships, they work faster and they have twice 8 points, they have more armor, they are hard to kill. But if you're not prepared for it and are caught off guard, you're still in a bit of a pickle. Actually, an interesting choice as well to go for the first dock down here when you have a perfectly safe one in the back to share with your pocket. Some people think that aliens gave the ancient Mayans the first maize. Interesting. Lots of conspiracy theories out there. Village halfway for Poivron here with the Japanese, moving out with the militia. They are going to become men-at-arms. Timing-wise, though, gonna hit at 10:30. Not too shabby, not too bad. Could get some serious early damage here, especially since Mike G doesn't even have a barracks app yet. The scout should move in to try and deny that, in my opinion. That would significantly delay the first few archers for the Mayans as well. If this barracks doesn't complete, you'd have to replace the barracks somewhere else. Top side, starting scouts working together for a villager pick off there on Lava Alarm side, so good teamwork from backseat boys on that side as well. Feudal Age now in, Japanese infantry attack faster. Even if you don't have the men-at-arms upgrade yet, they're still gonna attack more quickly, but great quick wall from Mike here as well to keep the aggression away. Eagle Scout will go down, Scout going down for Poivron over there as well. Mike G lost another. Where did he lose the other villager? It was probably over here then. So 2 villagers down then. South side, what's going on? Double docks from Mike G here. Not taking any chances. Want to stop the Japanese from getting the free food income from the fish. I like that. Top side, we're going to contest the north side pond. Koalola is on it over here. And red, Lava Alarm doesn't know that's happening up here, so that could be bad news for the Aztecs, even with the faster producing military buildings. Men at Arms not taking the risk there, risks getting trapped. I think that's still open on the gold, so it will still be an option. What's the scout situation? We have scouts from the Lithuanians here. And we didn't talk about the pocket from Backseat Boys, but there's Malians in the pocket from Raemo. All buildings at a wood discount, so it's easier to get the fish food income going. 8 fish working for the Malians here. Yeah, purple, with the barracks significantly delayed, is going to struggle to get archers out to deal with this men-at-arms opening. So, strong opening from Backseat Boys here. They are taking out... Is that a new eagle, or was that the starting eagle? Anyway, eagle goes down there to the men-at-arms. All 3 men-at-arms still alive. Now, towering the secondary gold, the largest gold actually for Mike G here. That should... be hard for the men-at-arms to engage against. You could just camp them underneath the tower, I guess. Top side, a demo is out. Lava Alarm must have some idea. Maybe he saw the villager or something. I seen the fire ships going out. Is he gonna go for the fish instead? That would be value. All 3 fish. Nice. 2.5 fishing ships going down there, but Lava Alarm is going to lose his own as well. For whatever reason, Poivro has gone for skirmishers, men-at-arms and skirmishers here rather than the archers. Which is, as we can see, not always the go-to in team games, because there's always going to be cavalry on the field, Paladin getting some free kills on the skirmishers there, basically, because the skirmishers have minimum range of 1 tile. So if you have any melee unit that can get close to them, they'll just shred them without the skirmishers being able to fight back. Lava Alarm definitely going to lose the fish up here as well. And down south, slowly but steadily, Mike G is going to win the pond here. Is it though? It's 2 docks, but they're not really producing that consistently. Forward villager being taxed to collect gold. Fish still working. Only 2 fish probably lost for Poivro over here. There is another fire galley coming out, but okay, Poivro had some army producing as well, but maybe it's just given up on it. It's not worth it for 3 fish to be saved here. Kind of makes sense to give up on it now. 2 docks against 1 will allow you to get to the castle age more smoothly and focus on land aggression instead. Might be worth it. Could still redock in the backside with his pockets here and get relatively safe fish if they succeed in walling off their side completely here. Yellow pocket made scouts, yeah, so Paimo is with the double stables. Knight potentially going to add some camels with the Malians here as well. Kind of liking Backseat Boys' position here now. They are well ahead in economy, they're behind in military, but that might not matter when they have town centers to protect their core economy and have soon to have 2 players in the castle age here. These knights are going to catch these archers off guard, so I don't think Lava Alarm is going to be able to hold off against this. However, the knights are missing the +2 armor, so they might still lose 1 if Lava Alarm reacts here, but he's not reacting at all. He's too preoccupied with trying to take out the tile of wall here, and he loses 7 archers completely for free. That's unfortunate. Six fish for yellow, safe and sound in the back here. Could have had a large fish boom uninterrupted potentially there. No sneak talk or any aggression going on there. Castle Age for Poivron here. Gonna secure another wood line with a secondary town center here. Not a bad idea. Llama seemingly safe at home base as well, but look at these golds. They're extremely exposed to ranged fire, like crossbows from Poivron, for example. But that's sort of the wrong flank, though. Don't really see much military on land for Gualolo. He's been taking responsibility on water instead. Large group of village archers here, only halfway to the castle age for Gualolo as well, and no land military. No land military for Gualolo to hold these scouts, archers, aggression away. We will need all of the Malians knights over here ASAP, and they are far, far away. This could mean huge losses for Gualolo at home base here, unless he's able to whip up those quick walls again here and deny the unit entry. Great quick reaction here from the teal player, but is it enough? It's going to be harder to quick wall when there are archers behind here. Looks like they're going to try and pass next to the town center here. I guess they, yeah, do they know that the town center is here? Scouts moving in first. Full castle age upgrades for Padlin scouts, so the villagers definitely can't fight those. This could mean huge losses for Gualolo. It's a 2 vs 1 situation over here as well. Padlin not really able to hold it alone here, but not that many blue crossbows either. All in all, if you look at if you compare the size of the armies here, it doesn't look too horrible for dying to the boar. No relics yet, so no bonus damage for the Lithuanians cavalry, but better upgrades as they have the +2 defense, so they've been trading better against high-embos Malians units here. Castle Age halfway there for Lavalarm, almost the full archers army forward at Gualolo's side. It's committing now, it's going to lose some of them to the knights over here, but the knights only have +1 defense, so you could still hit and run with these archers and get away with at least a little part of your group of archers here. Yeah, I got to hear considering next season, I mean next season. Take Chariot. Real life, obviously, takes priority. It's not a great trade for the archers, but it's also not bad. Having taken out quite a few of Gualolo's villagers and also a couple of the knights there. Evening out the numbers. Hayamo currently not able to produce, now back on triple stables production. 20 villagers ahead of the Lithuanians pocket as well, or 20 eco units I should say. 20 fishing ships, lots of deep fish here still to be eaten. Still only 6 ships for the Lithuanians though, so could have had better value from the fish at home base here. Backseat boys well ahead in economy especially, and to some extent in military. However, with Mike G in control of the south pond, they have two legs each. It's going to be tough to reclaim this one, and look at all of these fish working for Gualolo as well. Yes, did lose villagers on land, but has a very healthy food income over here as the Koreans, and doesn't really need to worry about much farming at home base. Could focus villagers on land on other resources instead, like on stone to get some castles up and war against south perhaps. Crossbows forward for Lavalarm now. Getting some pickoffs. Clearly lacking ballistics there as the villagers are able to dodge most of the arrows here. Only one going down to this volley from Gualolo. And there's finally Castle Age from Mike G as well. 14 archers now. They're at the 20% discount here. Is it still only... Yeah, there's 2 ranges, or 1 range producing and 1 researching crossbow. Vodkin coming in as well, gold mining to boost the gold mining stats. Let's see if dying to the war can stabilize here. They're almost keeping me up with the military. We saw some good micromanagement in the previous game here, so if they find their best fights to take, they should definitely contest the Mayans here, or maybe not, now that the upgrades have kicked in. Very similar numbers here. This should be a good fight for Backseat Boys, shouldn't it? Unless Padlin has collected any relics, which is not the case yet. No relics collected whatsoever, they're still out in the field. In the end, it turns out to be a good trade for dying to the war. Full-on cavalry fight with Mike G able to focus down some crossbows of the blue player and cleaning up the armies here. Dying to the war still 60 eco units behind, but now they have the military lead. They might have some momentum here now to push in and raid their way back into an eco lead. Castle for the Malians as well. Are we going to see some Geppettos raiding? Kuololo setting up for a landing masterpiece here as well. Imagine landing upon Wildrin and placing a Monstery and Siege Workshop or something silly here inside of the walls where Lava Alarm thinks is safe. That would be a next level play. 2-1 situation here. Kuololo going to struggle in an uphill battle here with the Lithuanians and the Aztecs here. Ballistics, however, is in. So fully upgraded Castle Age crossbows here, focusing the Knights first. Going to get decent trades, although after focusing down the Knights, Kuololo is going to have lost numbers, so that the fight isn't in its favor by any means anymore. 12 to 19 now, Knights joining in from behind from the Malians. How's this going to work out? I think they should take it now. More cavalry joining in. Malians with home field advantage here. Streaming and more cavalry trying to get that surround. And down they go. Outlet 12. Crossbows left for Lava Alarm again. They're on the hill here, but they're now outnumbered by Kuololo, who needs to be a little bit careful with the Mangonel sneaking in from the side here. Nice castle on the hill here for the Japanese as well. Crossbows going down to Mangonel fight here. So now Poivron is going to be looking at a very bad trade here. And I don't think that castle is complete either. Backseat Boys are going to have another unfinished castle here, like in the previous hideout game. In an important spot as well. It's such an important hill to secure on the flank here between the two players. For a strategic point to fall back to with some elevation advantage and to heal up units and whatnot. Here comes the Malians cavalry, but Poivron will need to commit a lot more villagers here to complete this castle. Dying to the war, matching in military. They're still behind in the economy, but they are catching up. Like the doubt of 1k. It's gonna complete though, and once it completes, the Mangonels aren't a threat anymore. 2 Mangonels against 12 villagers trying to complete this castle. Haimo committing against the Mangonels now. That is the correct call, especially allowing Poivron to try and complete this castle. Another Mangonel needs to go down. Is it going to go down? Goes down to the Knight. Good. Yeah, this castle... will it complete? 98%. So many villagers lost trying to complete this castle, and that's almost half of Backseat Boys' economic lead lost in that castle attempt, but now it's at 98%. Of course it completes. Send 5 more villagers or something and just test your luck here. And then you'll get some crossbow pickoffs in the process as well, in that case. Topside, crossbows moving in from Kuololo, also some forward ranges up on topside here. Bad news for Lava Alarm. We'll need to react to this at home base, and going to be looking at some serious eco losses here. It's going to flee over to this side, perhaps with these villagers, to secure a wood line close to Podlin's side instead. Castle still unbuilt for the middle player, losing more and more hit points from the crossbows forward here. Knights staying close just to stop any villagers to get anywhere near this castle foundation on the hill. I think it's the correct call by Dying to the Board to commit here. And again, we have Dying to the Board earlier to the Imperial Age here. No, not really. Backseat Boys has 2 players in the Imperial Age. Cavalier just on the way in. And Arbalest in for Kuololo with the Koreans as well. That's going to be tough for a Castle Age Aztecs to handle. They're in it for evening out the score to a 1-1 here, Backseat Boys. It is there for home map after all. And we have a castle. finally. Covered by some Malians cavalry as well. But at what cost? Poivro, 29 villagers lost. Mayans now approaching the Imperial Age here. They don't really have a castle, but there's some on stone here from Mike G. Got some hundreds more stone to collect before he can get anywhere with that. Range is now popping up for the Japanese. I'm going to double up on the crossbow production, mixing in some skirmishes as well. Desperate to get to a mass that can be upgraded to Arbalists in the Imperial Age. Kualolo is on top of things at the north side here, though. Keeps chasing the Aztecs player, denying a reboom approach outside of the base here. While the Malians doing work great. Still no relics. One for the Malians, that's all, and that's not going to benefit the Lithuanians or the Aztecs. Clearly the opposite. But with backseat boys now in the Imperial Age, some of them they are also allowed to sling. But I don't really think they have any excess resources to sling to Poivro to get to the Castle Age here. Samurai! So misclick or intentional to take out this building? One samurai. Handy to have samurai access in case one of the Meso civilizations go for an eagle play here. As Padlin loses a town center to massive cavalry raids here. Do we have Farimba in as well? We do. So the Cavaliers now had 12+7 attack, that's no jokes. Fantastic raiding unit. Should you somehow run out of gold, you could still pump out light cavalry as well. Almost 60 Cavalier now, and counting for Heimo. And considering the Lithuanians don't have any relics, there's no significant advantage for the Lithuanians here either. Scrambling up not just one defensive castle, but two of them for Padlin here, but at what cost? Now going to lose plenty of builders to the Cavaliers of Hayamur. In fact, that foundation can't even start. Maybe that's a good thing for Padlin, except for all the builders going down here. Oh, 60 builders lost and more for Padlin here. Still only 6 fishing ships working. Yes, did get one defensive castle up in the farming economy here, but where's the gold? Where's the resources overall? What are we gonna do here? Lamalar with the defensive castle trying to keep Kualolo's advances away, but the numbers increasing for the teal player as well. Has claimed the top side here for gold, neutral golds and stones. Heavily fishing over here. And I guess the deciding factor in the end is that the mobility of the Lithuanians, the pocket position is out of the game. Padlin down to 62 villagers, only 4 Cavalier compared to the almost 70 and counting for Haimo. Good comeback from backseat boys for a 1-1 for the playoff final here. I get some of these proper nasty KDs now in the favor of backseat boys here, 239 to 55. I mean, if you'd be able to get to Lithuanians Paladins with a couple of relics here, you'd keep up with the Malians for sure, because of that extra attack for the Lithuanians as well, and the fact that they're, yeah, I guess plate parting armor makes a difference here, but they're both lacking the last attack, so they should, yeah, I would favor the Paladins there, but you need to get there, and that was effectively stopped by Hayabu, of course. Eco situation well ahead for backseat boys. Did get much more out of the fish, even if Poivro lost the fish down south. Could maybe docked the friendly pond instead if he wanted to benefit from that Japanese fish bonus, but no matter. They managed to get the game on their first home map into their hands. Let's have a look at the society scores as well. Crossbow fights? Question mark? No, that's probably just dancing around with cavalry. We'll tick off the civilizations used again and hop into the next one. Mayans and Aztecs spent here as backseat boys. Bring it home with Malians, Japanese, and Koreans. Next map gonna be either Arena or Team Islands. Team Islands, Dravidians, Bengalis, Sicilians perhaps for a landing play. That would be a strong combo. But Viking longboats, always nice to have up the sleeve. Malay as well. Not to be messing around with. Both of these, however, could be useful on migration as well. On Mediterranean as well to have some more land focus. So if we're going to naval, Italians would work for both Team Islands and Arena, to be honest. But Persians, since they were not used now for 4 lakes, they will have to be used on one of the other naval maps, probably Mediterranean. So let's say if it's Team Islands, it's gonna be Italians, Berbers, and then what? Some throwaway landing play with Incas or Tatars. I'm not too confident in the full water map draft for backseat boys here. Let's have a look. It's gonna be Arena first, so no matter then. Close map. We've used some really good monk civilizations already, so let's see what they bring us next. Bengal is not being used for the naval maps at all. Losing out on the civilization bonus with the ships automatically healing them. So Hoopla deciding not to keep that for any of the water maps, but obviously strong civilization for Arena as well. Ratas come to mind if you can get your castles up and spam them, but more importantly the monks that have extra armor. We'll see if monks are the play here from Hoopla. Or we're just going to get a giant boom with the Bengalis here, place 5, 6, or 7 DCs and get lots of extra villagers in the Imperial Age. Could happen. Could happen. Here. Right, so in the pocket we have Padlin playing from the pocket position again, this time with the Teutons providing conversion resistance to the team as a team bonus, which means that the Bengalis monks, should they enter a monk vs monk fight, have extra conversion resistance as well. Fantastic boom for the Teutons, obviously. They have 40% cheaper farts. They have extra armor of the siege as one of the unique technologies, ironclad, and they have fantastic melee units with +2 total melee armor when you reach the Imperial Age. Monks aren't all that matters, contrary to popular belief. Finally, other side flank, Lava Alarm with the Spanish. Is this going to be a forward castle drop conquistador play? Or fast imp monk trebs perhaps? I think Spanish will want to push this in the castle age so as not to give away any advantage here to the opposing team. So also already scouting the location to confirm this. Actually, Spanish could even tower rush if the flanks are close, but they're not really close enough for that to be an optimal team game play here. So for Poivro with the Vietnamese here, we'll know where the other players are placed from the very get-go. That's the civilization bonus of the Vietnamese, getting to know the town center location. Useful for nomad maps, but since they banned the nomad map, or the nomad maps here in the map draft, we're not gonna need that Vietnamese bonus here. Rat Archers, still good. Fully upgraded Arbalest will be useful against Spanish as well, if they go for the Conquistador play. And tankier crossbows for the same reason. Vietnamese 20% more hit points on the archery range units. So they would hold up decently against the small numbers of conquistadors. Pocket for backseat boys here is high ammo with the Franks. Odd pick for Arena Pocket, but they do have the strongest paladins hit points wise in the game. So there's that. Good boom as well with the instant farming economy, faster collection of berries. Could use castles for map control as the game goes on. But not the most commonly civilization seen in arena team games. They're probably B tier at, and that's even being optimistic about it. Finally, we have Kualolo with Bohemians here. Trash monks in the Imperial Age. Monks and monster technologies cost only food if you get that upgrade. Unique upgrade. Other than that, I have chemistry access in the Castle Age, so you could research chemistry in the Castle Age and have the play fast Imperial Age like the Turks, almost having access to gunpowder units immediately when you reach the Imperial Age, if your timing is right. Oh, I was Australian, he rather plays Scout Sims as he has pig. That makes sense. Alright, let's speed it up a little bit here, because it's arena. There's not going to be much exciting to see in the Dark Age. Maybe a little scouts run in here or there, but that's about it. 23 population up for backseat boys. Here we have Bohemians and Franks going up already. Povro a little bit later with the Vietnamese. Not on stone. Not on stone for the pocket either. Not on stone for Kualolo. I have no idea what's going on there. None of them are at the stone for potential defensive castles. But they are ahead to the feudal age. Could give them the edge to the... Okay, now we're going to stone. At least for the Vietnamese. You kind of have to do that when up against Spanish on the flank, because you expect them to kind of go for some forward aggression with their castle and conquistadors here. That's one of their plays. You could also do fast Imperial Age monks and trebuchets, but that's not as ideal in team games as in 1 vs 1. Whereas for a 3v3, the mobility on conquistadors in the castle age is gonna come in handy for sure. We're going right into the boom for the Franks here. I think we are. Blacksmith Market up. Second town center coming here. Slightly low on wood in terms of getting another town center up, but maybe it's a third. Oh, here comes the barracks, so we're gonna prepare for some military after all for the Franks, and some Franks cavalry could be useful here to deny Lamelard's forward castle attempt there, but you just don't deny a 10 villagers forward castle from the Spanish. The villagers build more quickly, so that castle is going to complete almost no matter what, at least if you quick hold them. And don't let your opponent's armies get to you, but there's no opponent armies here to worry about, so Lamelar is gonna get that castle up. He's gonna be able to break through the walls quickly, either with petards or conquistadors and castle fire. Good reaction by Poivron here, of course, has been on stone, expecting this to happen, so gonna go for a defensive castle, disallowing any entry from the conquistadors from this side. But that's not to stop the conquistadors. Could still, once you get a decent mass, you could try and punch through the walls at a different angle instead of just drop another castle over here, or just move on to the pocket to keep setting them back. So best play for Poivron here now is get that castle up, seed some more farms, maybe use the market, and just rush that Imperial Age so you can be rid of the forward castle age castle threat as soon as possible. Petards out for Lamelar, but where will they petard in? They'd have to go in here or something for the conquistadors to work out. Or maybe they'll just go straight for the pocket, who knows? Don't want to complain, but almost done some goals before. Yeah, That can happen on Arena sometimes. Could have been worse though, Poirot. If this gold had been there, then your opponent places one castle in this area, and suddenly you don't have gold access whatsoever. Let's see for the petards. Finding that one opening. And they're officially in. Creek House not going up in time. Conquistadors ready to raid. Avoiding the castle fire from this angle, and Lava Alarm playing it smart here now. Is trying to convert the scout for whatever reason and not the Conquistadors. Maybe a misclick there. Because as the scout joins in the meantime, the monk could go down to Conquistador fire. Starting scout here, ready to snipe that one and only monk as well. No, another monk in the queue. But the Conquistadors with their whooping 16 damage. Early castle age are just melting builders, knights, anything. Poirot could be looking at serious losses here. Tries to scramble up the creek houses here to keep the Conquistadors away. It's easier said than done to wall against aggression like this because of the high attack of the Conquistadors and it being gunpowder, not ranged attack, so you'd go through buildings more quickly as well. What do you do against Kongs with Teuton's teammates? Crossbows, in this case, as the Vietnamese. Or Rattan Archers, you have the castle. So I would say gold obviously an issue. Gold obviously an issue, but still if you could sell some wood, if you're lacking gold here for crossbow production or Rattan Archer production, just try to get some. If you're able to get 10 Rattan Archers out here, you still probably one-shot a Conquistador, and you'd outrange them as well. So that's your best chance. First lesson ban Arena. Also, agreed. Not much happening on the other side here. Kololo with the castle on the right outside his own gate here with the Bohemians. Comfortably just booming away at home base here. Franks, same thing, mainly just booming here. And Teuton's definitely booming at home base. Just now placing the stables. Yeah, Poirot manages to get a town center up in the top side here, so keeping the Conquistadors from doing too much damage, but the number is ever increasing for the Spanish player as well. Still probably lacking Bloodlands and Husbandry here, because there's no stable, is there? Not yet. So they're far from fully upgraded, these Conquistadors, but there's 9 of them, which means that they will, if they all hit, in theory, they'll deal nearly 150 damage. Now what? Where are these guys going? Lava Alarm. Stealing some stone from Poivron here, wants to get more castles up for the Conquistadors. Payamo trying to chase them with knights, but will need a lot more knights to even stand a chance against 9 Conquistadors like this. And we can see the Teuton's team bonus, the conversion resistance, really making a difference here as well. It takes forever to convert units. Yeah, I would go Rattans here, but Poivron has a gold issue, as you can see. Take Chariot. It's got only 1 villager mining gold over here. Could maybe try a few more, but Rattans probably the best option. Yeah, oh wait, you could place a mining camp here as well. Or absolute worst case, delete the monastery to make room for a mining camp. But yeah, mining camp over here if there's place, and then get to Rattan's production. Skirms won't work because Hayemo is going to Padlin is going to be able to provide cavalry to hunt down the skirms, so that's not gonna work. Never delete a monastery. I would delete this monastery in a heartbeat to collect gold more securely and efficiently. So what's the Bengalis plan here? Are we gonna go elephant archers here for Hoopla? Don't Bengalis elephant units already have conversion resistance? And then do you have a Teuton's ally? You get even more conversion resistance? To be fair, Povro has a better economy than Hoopla. Hoopla somehow manages to get to the Imperial Age here though. So now he's going to be able to get Trebuchet out. He'll pound down this castle and keep raiding with the conquistadors inside the base of the Castle Age player. That is Povro, who is nowhere near that Imperial Age click just yet. Haemo getting closer, but still lacking a little bit of food to click up here. However, has been untouched and has a decent boom going as well. The eco situation is dead even between teams, even with the conquistadors raids messing things up. But the fact that Lavalarm is in the Imperial Age now is properly bad news for Poivro. I think Lavalarm in fact sold this stone rather than building another castle. He sold the stone to buy or to get the resources needed for Imperial Age here. So, nice working economy in the back here for Poivro, but once again, struggling to get to that next age here. Hasn't really produced any army tries for the elite skirmishers now. But as you can see, the Teuton's pocket is already with Cavalier in here as well. So the Cavalier will meddle in and make the elite skirmishers effectively useless. Hoopla and Kualolo both with the free booms here. Elite elephant archers already for Hoopla. And what's the Bohemians gonna do about that? I don't think hand cannoneers is the answer. I think we're going to need siege onagers with halbs in front here to even stand a chance against that. But then again, Kualolo doesn't even know about a single one of these ranges, so he doesn't know what's coming. And if you get 50 elite elephant archers your way from the Bengalis and don't know they are coming, then you are in deep shit, to say the least. Yeah, no sim should ever get free boom. Easier said than done, right? Alright, Monk's getting one conversion in there, but again that Teuton's conversion bonus playing in here. Elite skirmishers trying to battle against the Teuton's Cavalier. Not quite going to happen here. Claim in the middle now, thinking about that long-term trade if needed for dying to the board. Just trying to claim some of the middle area here, but at this rate, if the Cavalier don't kill the elite skirmishers, the conquistadors will anyway. Trebuchet is moving closer. Poivro needs to move some builders away quickly, or it's going to be effectively defeated by this army combination. 21 Cavaliers now for the Teutons there. I don't even know where they are going. Yeah, they're coming towards Poivro's side. So I'm just going to finish off one player here and then just move on to the Franks side with granted some army massing up here for Haemu, but that means that his teammate is suffering big time in the meantime. And you're going to need a lot more as the Franks here to withstand this combination with two Imperial Age armies from dying to the boar. Yeah, Teuton's horses are slow, that's true actually. Going all the way over the map like that. Oh, look at the elite elephant archers. 300 hit points. Fighting against... Okay, let's see the hit points difference here actually between the hand cannoneers and the elite elephant archers. Bengalis elite elephant archers with Teuton's ally. Good luck converting that with monks, even if you had them. Yeah, of course you would say that Leb Jarrett, being a monk player. Don't think it's an unfair team bonus at all. It's fine. But stacking with the Bengalis could be an issue, I can see that. But that's why you draft that way. Paladin with the Paladins out now, cleaning up the remaining few Franks Cavalier in the area. 44 villagers now for Poivron, nowhere to escape. It's managed to pull some villagers away, so it's going to make an attempt to relocate down here, but this mass is a little bit of an issue. If you get enough Hoofnitze out and keep them away from the range of the elite battle elephants, maybe. Paladin even stealing his teammate's gold over here. I don't know about that. That's not very good team play. Hoopla doesn't even seem to worry too much about the castle fire from the two Bohemians castles here. He knows that this army has so much hit points anyway. And that Gualolo is never going to get close to these trebuchets as the castles go down. Gualolo is scrambling for repairs, but I think he's out of stone as well. So that he can't quite keep away. Almost 60 Teutons paladins and counting. Castles going down for Gualolo. They're pushing hard on both sides here, dying to the boar. Twice the military. More economy behind all this as well. Don't really see any way Backseat Boys can stop this. Oh, yeah. Elephant archers. About 15,000 hit points worth of army here. And barely any army whatsoever for the Bohemians there. They're getting wrecked, these hand cannoneers and elite skirmishers of Gualolo, unfortunately. Franks Paladins versus Teuton Paladins, that's an interesting fight, because the Franks have more hit points, but the Teutons have more belly armor. And the Teutons are slower, so the Franks can always outrun the fights unless they're chased up in the corner and can't escape. What do you do in silence position? I don't think even onagers. I mean, yeah, you need halberdiers in front and onagers behind them, or even heavy scorpion perhaps, and the hoofnitz. So you need a lot of stuff to deal with this, but there's no way Gualolo can afford that kind of army or have the space to create that kind of army in time here. I feel like the Franks Paladin, if say 60 Franks Paladin were sent over here into the elite elephant archers and then had some siege support behind or elite skirmishers behind, maybe that's a good trade, but they're needed over here as well, you know. So if the Franks go over here, the right side dies even more. Blue might get defeated. And it's not... when it gets to this point, you can't get there. Anyway, you'd probably need all three armies of Backseat Boys to somehow clean up this. And if you look at the resource situation in Hoopla's home base here as well, there's more to come. So well played on Arena for dying to the board. Let's have a look at the maps again. Teutons have range bonus, no. Teutons have... What do you mean, Pleb Jarrett? You want to swap the Civ and team bonus for Teutons. Nah. They need that when they don't have access to light cav and stuff like that. They need that bonus. Dominant KD here, as you might expect. Nice Buscoy and commercial. What do you mean? What even is that? I have no idea what kind of commercials Twitch runs. That's region specific, I think. The game is really a target audience for IBS. Still have no idea what you're talking about. No villagers lost at all this game for dying to the war. Pretty dominant display. Which will lead us to Mediterranean next. Just go back to the draft again here. And show the domination of the Spanish students and Bengalis combination here. Exit boys losing out with the Franks. Vietnamese and Bohemians for that one, and they've admitted to they don't like Arena. So maybe a throwaway map for them. Mediterranean coming up next. And since Hoopla's team still has Team Islands in the game, they'll need Dravidians for that one. So for Mediterranean, what are we going to see there then? Magyars in the pocket position, perhaps. And then Vikings and Byzantine flanks, perhaps. As for backseat boys, Persians is basically a given. I think Burgundians could be decent as well. We're for a fast uptime for naval fighting. We'll see. We'll see. Bring us to game 4, no? Mediterranean coming in. Oh, Sicilians for Mediterranean. That's fair enough. They have things going for them on land. So this is a map that has been in the ranked 1v1 a few times. It has barely been in the ranked team game queue. But I think it's a classic map. It's nice to see how it plays out here. Hoopla going for the Vikings pocket here. So he might have longboats in mind. And landing with castle drops and berserker raids later maybe. Or just, yeah. Vikings not the most mobile save in the game. But if you're able to wall off the sides somehow and control the water area, Vikings should be powerful here. So right hand side, Lama Alarm with the Malay. 66% faster up through the ages for the Malay. Always handy for any map, but especially important for naval maps where you want to be up the first to get your first fire galleys or galleys out to take out the opponent's fishing capabilities. Mike G with the Sicilians. Team bonus. Not that relevant for Mediterranean maybe, but the Sicilian's first transport ship is... No, the Sicilian's transport ship costs 50% less and they have +5 line of sight. But they're obviously a strong land civilization with their much faster constructing castles. The option of First Crusade to spawn sergeants out of town centers. Or just a feudal age donjon rush on land if you're in the mood for that kind of thing. That would catch people off guard on maps like these. Poivron has gone for the Khmer flank here. Might be thinking about saving that wood that you don't need any prerequisite buildings to kick up to the next stage. You go for a fast feudal age and fight for water here. Possibly. Hayawo in the green here, as the Persians didn't drop a dock yet, but the Persians docks and town centers were 10, 15 and 20% faster throughout the feudal ages onwards. And you also start with extra food and wood, as the Persians 50 extra food and wood. So you'll typically get your first fishing ship out earlier than your opponent. Also, the fact that the docks work faster makes it easier to fight for and defend your position on water. And finally, Kualolo with the Italians over here, 15% cheaper. Advancement to the next stage, all of the ages. So, and also some bonuses pertaining to water. Fishing ships are at a discount. Say with some other naval bonuses in terms of relevant naval technologies. Looks like Dying to the War are further out with their docks. Sicilians already completed theirs. Here comes the Kimber and Persians ones. I think this one as well. We'll keep an eye on the scouting, but it's a little bit of a slow build up to the feudal age on these naval maps as well. Keeping the scouts close here so that the fishing villager won't take any early damage here. Always keeping the scouts close for the walling. Looks like Mike G is going to close off the left hand side nice and early here. Will allow Dying to the Boar to more consistently focus on the right hand side. In fact, they're trying to wall that one off as well, and Lamanar has done a good job at that. Fuel Age in for someone. Oh, clutch walls here as well from Dying to the Boar. Both starting scouts of Backseat Boys not allowed to get inside of their opponent's side to coordinate their early scouts for attacks here. Persian going for the fire galleys, and the Khmer going for the galleys here. 2 docks for Mike G as well, but Mike G still has 40 seconds to go for the feudal age, so it's on the back foot here in terms of naval fighting. Hoopla also not in the feudal age yet, but he's going up at 30 population here, so that should be a straight fast castle age approach. He's going fast castle longboats here. Not a bad idea looking at the way Backseat Boys have been able to secure the land area here. You could say the same about Backseat Boys, actually. Backseat Boys also walling the top side. Now only need to wall to the edge over here, or wall between the woodlands over here. We'll see how they solve that, but the early game here is certainly going to happen on water, and if Hoopla is left untouched here, that could be properly bad news for the opposing team, because that means that longboats will pose a serious threat and the castle age advantage. I got this out for both sides here. Lavalarm getting the arguably better trades there with the Malay. It's with 2 docks, and 1 dock here for Dying to the Boar, so they should be outnumbered here. It's heavy naval investment from Backseat Boys for this one. Putting the fire galley back, but there's no villagers here to repair that one, so that one's gonna go down, giving Backseat Boys an advantage here. Eric's coming up for Kualolo over here. Maybe wants to think about some land aggression with... maybe he could drop an archery range over here or something. Funny how close they will to the town centers, but it will keep any aggression out. It's all about the water so far. Galley numbers of the crew reaching a decent mass here. They can hit and run against the Sicilians as long as they're not cramped up in a corner or anything. Backseat boys with a convincing numbers lead here. One player playing the fire galleys, the other two playing the galleys. So on islands maps, your galleys would be even more useful because you could hit more of the economy on land, but there's not really much exposed economy on land here for backseat boys to benefit from. But controlling the middle area and having the sides wall off still gives them an advantage because they would be able to land armies or villagers on the opponent's side, whereas the opponents will not be able to do anything like that. Good galley numbers. Fletching is in as well. Longboats now coming out for Hoopla. Let's see if that can switch things up for them. The fire galleys getting close to Povrol's galleys here, but is floating away. Is he going to be intercepted by anyone else here? Lavalarm has some fire galleys out as well, but the longboats are massing up. They shoot so quickly. They should be shredding the feudal age galleys here, and it's a long-term committed feudal age here for backseat boys, maybe except for the Persians, only now missing the second building to go up to the next stage. Already a market in the corner as well. I must be thinking about the long-term game and trading for gold here. Way too early for that, but if you're going to place a market anyway, why not place it there if you feel like you can spare the villager walking time for that. Oh, longboats now, convincing number of them as well. Baltic in for Hoopla, so massively leading in terms of upgrades for attack and damage here. Should have no trouble at all chasing down these fire galleys, these feudal age units of backseat boys. None of them have clicked. Persian's player probably will click soon, high ammo. But now with the longboats numbers, a straight fast castle for the Vikings there and getting away with it. That's properly bad news for backseat boys. Is coming up on land as well, so going to the board thinking about the switch or the addition of land units soon to close out the game, maybe if they can establish naval domination here. Shredding the opposing units here, backseat boys. Nice early naval advantage, but they failed to stop Hoopla from getting advantage from that Castle Age longbow investment. So Hoopla now with 3 docks. Actually stopped producing longboats now. Is probably happy with the situation here. If you look at the numbers, it's actually 27 to 22, but it's only Haimo on the way to the Castle Age here. So with the numbers currently out on the waters, Hoopla could still take out everything. Is this a special version of Baltic? No, it's Mediterranean. Baltic is a different map. Mediterranean is also a classic map with water in the middle, but Baltic has a larger field of water, or larger body of water, which makes it even easier to wall off at least one side. This isn't Baltic. Baltic would have water until here, and until there, and a larger body of water in the middle. They're quite different. I think Mediterranean has more extra, more neutral sheep as well. Well, it is Mediterranean. And it has lots of different spawns, so that's the way it's spawned for this game. Baltic has more water, period. Fire ships out for the Malay here, also benefiting from the Castle Age upgrades. All of dying to the war in the Castle Age. Persian docks will be tough to take out, but maybe not so tough with the Persian's fire galleys here. As Kuala tries to conserve the galley numbers, but look at this, he has no escape. If the fire ships find these galleys, they have no escape. Even if they get to the war galley upgrade here, Lava Alarm will just surround them and take them out. Oh, I've seen plenty of Mediterranean spawns like this. Both in 1v1 and team games. But it tends to be more circular, that's true. Some archers added on land from the Sicilians as well. Military situation, almost twice the military now for dying to the boar. Backseat boys. Galleys going down here for Kuala. He has no escape, he's going to lose all of the galleys here. War galley upgrade not worth the investment at all. Longboats, 24 in the count now. It's time to start thinking about a landing in a castle drop maybe here for the Vikings and get some land presence in the north side. They're comfortably extending their economies. So is Backseat boys. They're trying to get back into the game by extending their broom on land, but they'll have a massively hard time to get over to the opponent's side now that the water has been lost. They're going to lose all of their docks. They are going to have to punch through on land to stand a chance at all, and they are so far behind economically. The only thing I'm missing for dying to the boar now, having one water, is adding some more fish. So they benefit even more from completely dominating the water situation as they are currently. The eco situation is close. Could be further apart if dying to the boar had more fish. They have obviously ceased producing naval armies because they are well in control now. But I want to see that transport ship with some land armies. Oh, imagine a demo here, huh? Getting some value, I guess, but doesn't really matter much at that side at this point. The eco situation dead even because of the additional town centers of Backseat boys, but we have the Vikings player going to the Imperial Age. Huge advantage for the Vikings with the instant wheelbarrow and handcart on any map. Gives Hoopla a nice land economy, even with only 2 town centers here. He's up. Which means that once he gets to Imperial Age and Chemistry, you could add some cannon galleons and take out whatever the cannon galleons can range. And also get elite longboat for improved stats for the longboats as well. Third TC for the Malay. How many TCs total? 2, 4, 7, 3, 6, 8. Only 1,000 difference between the two. Be the awkward spot to be in. Controlling water like this means that you can't comfortably wall all the way to the edge of the map either. So Kuala has compensated. There is an opening over here though. So that would be an opening for Lava Alarm to enter if they ever scout this area and find that opening to move into a raid with whatever unit you'd want to on that side. Left-hand side with the combination of crossbows and knights here, but there's defensive mangonels here already, and the knights can't do anything about that until the fortifications have been broken over here. There's ships all over the place here guarding the coastline. Not making it easy for Backseat boys to get through in any way. Could even add some demolition ships to guard the coastlines and get some juicy shots in, or hits in, against these masses of crossbows if they move too close to the shoreline. So it's never it's never safe to move close to the shoreline with large groups of units when you know the other team is controlling the water. Because if they are thinking ahead, they'll spread out their naval armies and have some demos at the ready to really switch up the numbers quickly. Defensive castle on land now for Hayamo. That castle is going to be short-lived though if Hoopla gets the cannon galleons out, and it's already only 20 seconds away from completing chemistry. And a nice castle on the hill for Mike G, thinking ahead with the Sicilians here as well. Stables going up. Want to get some raids in perhaps. Should easily be able to create a wider opening here with naval units in play here. Just needs to mass up land units, cavalry units. Then delete his own house walls here to move in and potentially raid the Khmer player to death over here. Although further securing his land side position here, going to secure more golds and stones over here with the defensive castle, but the lava alarm with the valet on the way to the Imperial Age, almost going to match Qualolo to that actually, and with a slightly healthier economy. Maybe thanks to the faster uptime researchers of the valet. Saving some time going to the next stage. Cannon galleon, elite cannon galleon in fact for the Vikings. Out and about. I won't be able to range too many buildings here, but still an annoyance that can take out some production. I'm looking for Sicilians cavalry here. Knights now finally in the queue, Imperial Age on the way. Maybe that's gonna be Hauberg Cavalier raiding away here. Hoopla with the healthiest economy behind this. Sicilians only did queue quite a few units here, but just kicked Imperial Age, so that would explain the low gold situation. They're already thinking about the trade as well. Not that many neutral golds to claim on the Mediterranean, it seems, as the water is taking up such a large place on the map, even for this generation. So, Imperial tried to run the corner for the Khmer as well. They do get arbalests. That could be bad news for the Sicilians Cavaliers, at least until they can get to, or Knights and Cavaliers at least, until they can get to the Hauberg upgrade. This could be a good counter-attack option for backseat boys over here. Large mass of crossbows here, but unfortunately the Knights are taking lots of damage to the Mangonels on the edge here as well, so that's lots of units going down for nothing for Hayamo there in the green. He's only got 13 Knights compared to the quintuple stable production of the Sicilians over here. Still wondering why Dying to the Board hasn't committed more to some land presence. Maybe send over some villagers to land and place a castle, try to steal some land area from their opponents, but they're still at it here. Khmer Arbalest now not threatened by the Mangonels anymore, as with the Arbalest and Bracer they are outranging Castle Age Mangonels. Maybe they'll finally break through. All players now in Imperial Age, both pockets, or both cavalry players I would say, Sicilians and Persians massing up the cavalry numbers. Obviously larger land investment for backseat boys as well. They have a lot more population space for their armies now because they don't have anything on the water taking up population space for them. However, they have no scouting intel whatsoever on Dying to the War's side. So they don't know about the castle on the hill here, for example. Shouldn't be a big issue with trebuchets out, but it is an issue that elite cannon galleons over here can range this castle on the hill, because that means that's only going to be one trebuchet to try and take out the Sicilian castle over here. Castle on the hill is gone. Elite cannon galleon getting some value here as well. Do you have an elite longboat as well? No. That's not been a priority for Hoopla. Maybe Hoopla will have to think about some arbalists here as well. No, he's moving over with quite a chunk of villagers. Transport ships with careening here. Careening also giving Pierce armor to the longboats. Will they be able to get a castle up here, though? There are Cavaliers here from Haibo to deny that potentially, but it's so close to the shoreline it should be fine. There are longboats here to protect against any land armies trying to stop this castle from happening. 34 Sicilians Cavaliers over here as well, so outmassing the Khmer in these numbers. No sign of any trade plans for the Khmer here. Only Gurian for the Sicilians. Well, Mike G is just making everything. He wants to be rid of this arbalest mass of the Khmer. But won't really be able to get a good shot there. Does stop the Green Cavaliers from getting close to the Onigers though, so there's that. Overall, reacting to the cavalry mass of the Sicilians, going to go into the halberdiers here, but that's a long way to go. Pikemen coming in, and the halberdier upgrade is costly as well. Seems like it is affordable though. Lots of resources still in the bank for the Khmer, thanks to the farming quotas they have. They can farm anywhere and just drop off instantly. Doesn't even need onagers here though, Mike G, to clean up that arbalest mass, and still keeps consistently higher cavalry numbers than the Persians. Cavalry player over here. The halberdier switch is incoming, but also lacking the full defense upgrades here, so they're far from fully upgraded. Sure yet if there's reason for worry for backseat boys here. The castle is in a good strategic spot. You could re-wall over here to keep the raids from happening. Trade cars are out, but there's nowhere to go to trade. You could go all the way over here, but maybe Hoopla doesn't see that. Just paid lots of trade cars, but not really getting anything from it just yet. Italians with the bomber cannons out. Arbalists from both sides here. Upgrades comparable. Cololo with significantly larger mass though. So Lamalar might need some help on this side to keep the aggression away. They both have bomber cannons. I don't think either of them have siege engineers, but if either of them had, that would be a huge advantage with an additional range for the bomber cannons. Fine to go into elite skirmisher as well until the Persian player can move over with the cavalry masses and take them out at close distance. So much stone in the bank for him, but the gold situation is concerning for backseat boys. They also don't have any trade running whatsoever, so the lack of gold might backfire as dying to the war with their, well, if they can get their trade going. They'll be looking at a huge gold advantage, but they're probably running low as well, I would assume, until the trade can get going. And Guarolo's land push is gaining some advantage here. Bomber cannons could get some juicy hits in though. Some good attack rounds there, and suddenly you're evening out the army numbers. But for the time being, Guarolo has twice the arbalest numbers as they are playing dodgeball against each other with the bomber cannons cancelling each other's bomber cannons numbers out. Nice stonewalls to the side here from Lamalarm to stop the arbalists from doing too much over here. Backseat boys still in it. They're matching the eco situation here. They have... They're not quite keeping up with the military, but they're not significantly far behind either. However, land situation, the land presence of Hoopla here could become an issue. Elite Berserk is in. They should be trading quite decently against cavalry as well, especially against Hussars, which is a trade unit. And with these two castles in a position like this, and the 400 villagers in place, Hoopla could also add other units here to further expand to the top side. Might need to be rid of some naval army numbers here, Hoopla, to really be able to force a fight on land. These berserkers could also easily snipe this trebuchet, but they're going in for the raids instead. Mike G holding the left-hand side well here, trying to push the barracks with siege weapons over here. The halberdiers still in creation for the barracks, but they're not in the numbers you need. And besides the Sicilian Cavaliers, they have better armor with Hauberg, and they also have take 33% less bonus damage from their designated counter units. Hello, Hoopla. Hoopla Matt. See the elite berserkers. You'll need more to deal with this armless mass here. Scrambling for repairs here. Hoopla is going to lose the forward castles here, so losing the unit of choice. I think he's forgotten about these elite cannon galleys, otherwise he could actually use those to take out the trebuchets on this side. Berserkers doing some proper work here, but there are two trebuchets here out of range from, or away from the units over here as well. See all the transport the villagers elsewhere, just gonna move them away. Alright, so where's that transport going? Will land over here now? Castle's officially down. Backseat boys fighting for their lives still. They have more military now. And obviously a lot more land military, considering Dying to the Boar's armies are... about 50 of their built units are on land. Or on the water. Sea Travis in for the Sicilians. The onagers won't make much use of themselves anymore. Though I'm not sure if 18 cavaliers is enough to deal with this group of arbalest, but certainly it's going to diminish the numbers, and gold definitely still an issue here. Berserkers over here checking the corners as well, just to make sure there's no trade happening. Speaking of trade, Dying to the Boar has a healthy trade route running now. Is it going all the way to the edge? There was only one market to trade with here, so the archery range is not doing the trade cart pathing any... Oh! That guy did a full loop because he didn't get to drop off his Faden. Elite skirmishers for Lamala, and no response other than the bomber guns to the elite skirmishers from Kuala. He's added some skirmishers of his own because obviously gold is becoming an even more of an issue here for backseat boys. You could still sell wood and other resources for some temporary gold income. Roughly 50 trade units for Dying to the Boar here, giving them a gold trickle, allowing them to keep making gold units like the Sea Trams, like the Cavaliers. Naval Army is not making much use of themselves, but here comes a castle attempt at another angle from Hoopla, close to the longboats. Longboats now and everything else, so if he patiently masses up another wave of berserkers here now, we could catch Kuala off guard and really raid whatever is left of Kuala land economy to death. Beginning to look rough for the Khmer here. Elite berserkers over here as well, coming all the way down from the south. Really need to get rid of some naval armies here for population space for Dying to the Boar. They need the numbers of land now, otherwise backseat boys are going to get back into it. Backseat back. population cap for the Persians here. Persians also, not that it matters, but Persians cavalry has, or Persians light line units have bonus damage against archers. Onigers failing to get any particularly good hits in here, and Dying to the Boar probably doesn't have any response to the Khmer cavalry here on land. They got too confident over here. They never re-walled this area after they pushed back the trebuchet from this angle. So that could backfire unless they are able to re-wall further back. Here's that. Yeah, they're going to secure the trade route, but there's still a point of entry to the southwest side if backseat boys scout that area. Another look at the resources there. Hoopla with 3 relics as well. High book 3 relics. So there's that steady gold trickle. Trade finally about to get started for backseat boys as well, but while they have more military on land, they are still struggling for gold. Uh-oh, Hoopla is going into the pikeman line here. Murder holds for the castles. I think Dying to the Boar are panicking a little bit here. Look at the Persians' raids here as well. This is backseat boys' home map after all, which will leave us with Team Islands as the last game. If this game goes into backseat boys' hand, that will be some comeback here. They're in the trade line of Dying to the Boar now, but they're also facing aggression at home base that needs to be attended to. Kualolo also pushing back over here with higher army numbers than the red playing opponents here. 4 bombard cannons pushing for the Italians. Strong push going on here against Malay, creeping closer into the trade line from both sides here. Halberdier mass finally in the numbers for the Khmer as well. Almost full upgrades, just missing the last attack upgrade, not the most crucial one for this kind of push. Population dwindling for Dying to the Boar. There are 50 military behind, and again, some of that military is on the water as well, so that means on land they're effectively probably 80 military units or more behind. And they're going to lose trade population as well. Let's go back to resource stats yet again. Yeah, both teams with plenty of resources in the bank. This could go on for a long while longer yet. Good raids from Hoopla here. You can tell from the Eco KD that is taking out almost 100 units. Still healthier trade numbers for Dying to the Boar, but for how long with this kind of Hussar and yeah, is it only Hussars? No, Cavalier as well. In the trade line over here. Forward castle now for the Khmer over this angle. Kualolo hard to push at his home base with the 3 strategically placed castles around here. Still mining gold actually, so gold not run out of gold to mine just yet. But it's lacking some cavalry support here. The cavalry, the Hussars are over here hitting the trade. They're pushing on this side, which means that the elite skirmisher is still a viable option for Lime Alarm here to keep the arbalest mass of Kualolo away here. The board don't really have much to respond to the arbalest. I think that's why Hoopla has gone into arbalests as well. Because he saw the Hald switch a long time ago, but he can't really send any arms over here at this point. He needs to help fight back Kualolo at this side, and suddenly the Tubers 2 is mainly on this side here with more arbalests still trickling in for Kualolo. 40 on gold now, so the trade definitely at work for our teal player now. looks like most of the longboats have been deleted to make space for arbalists on land, but trade is still being raided, keeping the Sicilian's Cavalier busy at home. Trebuchet now pushing from this angle with the newly built castle of Poivron as well. Going to deal with that one, but Mike G reacts with more stone walls behind here. Has managed to wall the top side as well. Maybe they can fight off the raids here and stabilize the trade again. Dying to the board, but they've lost lots of map control now. They're split in half, and Guarolo's home base has not been hit for a while either. Almost dead even in population here, military and otherwise. Better economy population overall for Backseat Boys, unless they're at the point of overbrew. Guarolo with 41 trade now, which leaves less space for military. He'll be more dependent upon help from his Persian's pocket teammate on this side than if he's going to have these kinds of trade units numbers working. Paladin is in for the Persians. Been on this sling here. Let's have a look at the sling stats. No sling. Yeah, these raids will just never end from Backseat Boys on this side. I think we might be going to a game 5 here. Backseat Boys, almost 100 population ahead now. Comfortable equal lead. Not much left to fight for on water, to be honest, and just keep going on land here. Skirmishers alone won't really push this side back, as Hoopla presumably is more invested on the left-hand side now to clear out the raids and be rid of what's going on the left-hand side. He still has some presence over here as well. Never managed to get these ranges up, but could maybe commit some units from the castle to just shake up things a bit at home base, or try to get some units in on the trade line. But more and more map position being lost by dying to the war here. Hoopla out of trade. No gold for Hoopla, at least no more gold income. Yeah, it's running low, stone running low, gold running completely zero for Lava Alarm here. Everything is running low now for dying to the board in the never-ending raids from Backseat Boys. Look at the eco KD of high MO here in the green. It's ridiculous how much value he's been getting from the Hussars and Cavalier. So overconfidence from the top side. This choke point here from dying to the board not to secure that more efficiently while pushing on water and land earlier in the game. That's certainly backfired for their trade situation. They're now 50 military down. They're down more than 100 economy units. Overall population 200 behind. Some Arbalest raiding over here, but they have to admit defeat. Backseat Boys turning it into a 2-2. We will be getting a 5th match on Team Islands, where I have to say I'm pretty sure Dying to the War has the better draft. It is also their second and last home map, so they do have a home field advantage here. What a comeback from Backseat Boys though. Great performance on Mediterranean. Bailing on water when they knew they'd lost it. Keeping the sides on land secure, investing into more town centers earlier on. And just going for the slow and deadly push on land to turn the game back into their favor through the late game raids. Or trade profit or dying to the board. Doesn't help when you can't close out the game with land aggression, which happened too late for dying to the board. I think they had full control over the sides for so long and the water. That's when you need to start pushing land more efficiently and sacrifice some population space from the naval military and maybe even the fishing ships to produce military to push on land. Lab Chariot is back. Money down. Vikings down, Sicilians down, Persians up, Italians up, and Kemmerer up. Last game, Team Islands. I suppose they won't be picking Incas because that was a random choice here. So, Berbers, Burgundians, Tatars for Team Islands. Presumably. Portuguese obviously banned. We don't want those Fatorias for the late game. And who plus team, Dravidians still secured. So it has to be Dravidians, Byzantines, and then possibly a Magyars landing. Turks, gunpowder units, cannon galleons coming to mind as well, but I think it's going to be Magyars, Byzantines, Dravidians to make sure we have a proper cavalry civilization, paladin civilization to use for land aggression, but Aztecs were picked for 4 lakes, so who knows. Game 5, Team Islands. Tatars! Didn't see that coming. Alright, judging from the Mediterranean game we just had, this could be a long game as well for Team Islands. Both teams good with the naval fighting, but they are lacking strong naval civilizations now, both of them, because this is the 5th and final game. But let's have a look at the civilizations and see what it brings. Kualolo with the Berbers, faster moving villagers and ships. Slight benefit for resource income from fish and villager pollution, but more importantly, faster galleys, and for that matter, fire galleys, to dictate when and where to take the fights on water. Playing in the flank position here, Kualolo probably wants to play some naval aggression. In the pocket, Tatars, not exactly famous for their naval play, but they have 25% extra elevation advantage when taking fights, so that could be used to their advantage in the event of any landing play with archers or scouts or any kind of unit. Slight eco benefit from herdables lasting or providing 50% more food as well. And finally, Incas, the randomly assigned civ in the draft for Puavro. Not too famous for their naval play, the Incas. I guess they still get decent options. But you could also coordinate with the Tatars and do a double landing and just turn Team Islands into a land game, basically, forcing the other side to react and be put on the back foot through engaging on land rather than committing to map control on water. Lavalar with the Byzantines, faster firing fire galleys, cheaper Imperial Age for a fast fire ship power spike in the Imperial Age, often seen from the Byzantines on naval maps. But yeah, faster firing fire galleys, big deal from the early Feudal Age onwards. In the pocket position, we have Mike G with the Magyars, as expected. Could be a landing play with scouts and or archers for the Magyars. And it looks like he wants to take the very, very, very long way forward to dock the front side for the landing, which is a lot of villager walking space, but makes the landing play more efficient, since you'll have the dock on the proper side and allows you to fight for water on the front side as well if you prefer it. But this is a long distance to travel and really delays your early fish income, as your dock will be delayed as well when moving this far out. He's traveling half the world to place that freaking dock, this guy. And finally, Hoopla with the Dravidians. Team bonus, providing population space, 5 population space per dock. Saving some wood in the early game, needing to build fewer houses. 200 wood granted once you reach the next age as the Dravidians, means that you could easily afford a 3rd dock or just an instant blacksmith to get an almost instant fletching for your galleys. And in the Imperial Age, access to the Thiriasadai as well, the unique ship that is high hit points but slow firing, but very good against galleys. That's it. It's kind of like an arena start, so since this is a recorded game, we'll speed it up a little bit to see what the next stage brings us. We'll keep an eye out for transport ships and have a look at the scouting of both teams to see if they can confirm or deny that any landing is happening from the opposing team. Don't see any transport ships in production yet. There we go. Magyars. Magyars with the transport at the ready. Placing the barracks at home, but not completing it in time, or with the village timing. Oh, a little bit of pathfinding issues here. Are we actually going to send 4 villagers over? Mike G is not joking around. He's sending 4 villagers and the scout over to complete the landing buildings at whatever the cost. That's a big drain on the economy at home, but he also got 4 fishing ships working, so should have a relatively easy time of affording the landing. Here comes the Eagle scouting the shoreline, expecting the landing. No! He's on patrol, he's missing it. He's missing the landing. Good spot picked by Mike G here. Whereas for Backseat Boys, they don't seem to be planning any landing at all, so this could be properly bad news for Kualolo's side here. Not spotting the landing. Magyar scouts, and now the range popping up as well. Mike G scouting around, looking for places to deal damage. We'll have a little look at the naval fighting as well. Triple docks for Poivron, double docks for Berbers, but no loom, no loom, and no loom for Backseat Boys on land. Pair that up with the Incas, Magyars instant melee attack upgrades, and you're in big trouble. Oh, second villager pick off by Mike G, already getting great value from the scouts here. Not seeing much attempt of small walling here for Backseat Boys. If this keeps up, if this landing aggression keeps getting this kind of value for Mike G, we might be looking at a really short game here. Lavalarm on the left hand side also outmassing Poivron's triple dock galleys with the fire galleys. Great efforts, great aggressive play from the left hand side here. Mike G with the mobility of the scouts could also really make life awkward for the other 2 players here. They don't have loom research yet. Look at the fire galleys numbers from the Dravidians. So I was expecting galleys here, but here we are with the fire galleys, and they certainly work out as well. Just obliterating the docks of Kualolo on this side there, leaving Kualolo no chance to fight back. And missing the landing is indeed huge. That Eagle was not far away from spotting that. Dying to the war, only 4 or 5 eco advantage here, but look at that military progress, look at the snowball this could become for them. 1 dock down for the Incas, galleys trying to mass up, but there are just too many fire galleys here, taking out the docks quickly and efficiently, and scouts numbers increasing. No archers yet from Mike G, actually goes for a second stable instead, realizing that there aren't a lot of walling action happening, but feel like Mike G should not only focus on the pocket high ammo here, but try and hit the others as well, since loom is yet to be researched for both the other players. For the same reason, Hoopla could consider adding some galleys here as well, to have some range to try and raid any land economy. Keep investing into naval armies here. Keep leaving the land aggression to Mike G, who by now has 7 economic kills, but is about to lose some scouts to the spearmen here. Quite the investment for Haimo on land with the spears though, but now that the archers are joining the forces as well, that means that Haimo might need to go into skirmishes as well, and that's going to delay that, potentially delay that castle age even more. Hayamo in the green here is missing the second building to click to the castle age. He has all of the resources, but obviously can't go castle age facing this kind of pressure. Mike G just having the time of his life here, making use of elevation advantage as well, forcing villagers to attack the scouts, idling the wood income. 10 villagers lost for the Tatar's pocket here. Just doesn't stand a chance against the pressure of the Magyars landing. All of the docks now down. Farigal is now moving to the backside to see if there's any fishing going on in the back from the Tatars player. Hoopla is already here as well. Could commit more armies once these docks are down. Demos getting some trades here, but now these... Oh, it's going to be close. It's going to be close. It's going to be really close, but the dock goes down before the demo. Dock goes down before the demo completes. 59, 10, 9. Oh, so close, and these are so weak as well. That's just lucky for Hoopla to retask the fire galleys over there to take out the dock right before that demo could take out these two. But there are 10 fire galleys total. And dying to the board with this kind of aggression on water. They are well ahead to the castle age, except for Haemo in the pocket, but he's facing serious aggression from the archers, and now also towers as well. So it's going to enter the castle age at a very... I was going to say at a very limited economy, but it doesn't look that bad. Doesn't look that bad. Losing the fish now, however, is bad. And losing most of the military on land is also bad. But getting a castle age advantage on land could be a way back here for the green player. The population lead for dying to the war though, 4 times the military, most of that on the water, but look how they are spreading out the armies again to keep full control over the shoreline. Castle ages coming in. Docks not being allowed to complete here. Gualolo still with several Berber docks here, but not going to be able to click Castle Age anytime soon. And finally Mike G is moving on to try and punish the Incas here as well. Doom obviously researched, knowing that there is enemy presence on land here. And Backseat Boys recover from the aggression we've seen here. They're certainly going to struggle to re-land anytime soon, because dying to the war are in complete control of the water at this point. Step Lancers added from the Tatars. Castle Age just clicked from Mike G. I don't think he can conserve the archer numbers against this mass. In fact, he's not really trying. Lacking upgrades? No, not really lacking upgrades either, the Tatars here. So having the back docks fishing for Haemo really benefited the transition towards Castle Age and the ability to invest into land armies. Incas with some archers as well, but they are about to become crossbows with Bodkin. 2 ranges and 2 stables for the Magyars though, and entering the Castle Age, that's going to be an instant +2 attack for the scouts and knights. What Mike G's economy like should easily be able to produce out of 2 stables with this eco setup. So if he's patient about it and doesn't get his production capabilities walled in, he should have no trouble fighting back against the Step Lancers and whatnot here. Bloodlines also not in for Haemo, so even if Haemo goes into the camels with the Tatars here against the Magyars forces, is going to be at a disadvantage hit points wise until the Bloodlines research can be made. Seeing a similar approach to the Mediterranean game now from Guarolo and the others, added town centers well ahead of dying to the war. They are significantly behind though, so if another team member of Dying to the War manages to land with some armies on land, then that reboom is not going to go unpunished from Backseat Boys. So, Icas and Berbers got away with a minimum of losses here. I think these are mainly fish, these eco losses. So all things considered, Backseat Boys are in a position to try and catch up with the economy situation here. They still need to get back on water, but if they can get some castles up on the shoreline and protect some redocking, still might be possible. Overall, has invested into more winter land as well. They have some serious land units to do it. Oh, I'm garrisoning too early here. I think the +2 defense still 20 seconds away. A little bit impatient from Mike G here. Squad although commits to a defensive castle on land without +2 defense here, and with the extra range and the elevation advantage of the Tatars there, the Steppe Lancers just shred most of these Magyars Knights. Maybe it was an accidental ungarrison from Mike there. Just didn't have the numbers and the strength. So the landing of the Magyars now more or less defeated. It's placing new production buildings close to the armies on the water, so that's good news. Now a landing from Laval army with the Byzantines as well. Good strategic spot to place the castle there as well. It has some naval armies to defend, so there's no denying that for the Incas, even if they can see it happening. Let's see if Dying to the War have bought themselves enough of an advantage here to get going. Hoopla got both buildings, got all the resources to click Imperial Age. There it does. Which will unlock galleons. And potentially cannon galleons. Which would be able to deal with quite a bit of the buildings on land. What's the Byzantines gonna make here? Is that gonna be Arbalest as well? Imperial Age already in. And no trebuchets as far as I can see. Maybe just make an opening and send a few cataphracts in here to raid or something. Just upset things a little bit here. Magyars Knights moving into raid, covered by naval armies as well. Going to get some value here until they go down. They have the +2 defense in, of course. So that obstructs the economic progress of Poivro while on the way to the Imperial Age. All of Backseat Boys except for Hayemo on the way to the Imperial Age. Hayemo, of course, having had to commit to lots of land armies here to keep the Magyars away. So still no counter landing possible. Gold not running low enough to start thinking about trade yet for Dying to the War. Let's see where they go from here. It's indeed going to be the Arbalest eventually for Lamalarm, but food income especially not quite allowing for that Arbalest upgrade just yet. No idea where these guys are going, maybe. Maybe just misclicked some shortfish or something. They have nowhere to drop off. And the Magyars Knights still doing work as well. No camel addition from the Tatars, surprisingly enough. He seems determined to win this with the Steppe Lancers. matching the numbers of the knights, but knights and step lancers in equal numbers. That should always be in the favor of the knights, as long as you coordinate the masses, of course. Poivron now in the Imperial Age, but what's he gonna make with the Imperial Age? He's gonna get Arbalesters. And also committing to a defensive castle to delay the push from this angle from Lavalarm. Lavalarm actually managing to get to Arbalest ahead of the Incas here, and more importantly, if you look at the armor upgrade, last armor upgrade, Ring Archer armor coming in for Lavalarm here, which means that if we assume they reach similar mass here, topside, then Lavalarm will still trade more efficiently because of the better armor situation. However, he's struggling to match the numbers on Poivron for the time being. It's good that the production buildings are close to the castle, so Poivron can't easily push them away, but he has the castle producing a trebuchet, and if the landing builders go down, you can't repair your own trebuchets either. Is there a wood or gold issue here for Lavalarm? No, just not currently queuing barely any arbalests. Here we go. Another castle on the hill for Kualolo as well wants to try and keep the raids away and maybe try and redock this top side. Cannon galleons for Hoopla, taking out what they can from the distance from the shores as well. Could be an annoying way to deal with income too. Even though you can't reach all these buildings, you can still take out the lumber camps at a distance and make it awkward to collect wood. These castles might be rangeable by cannon galleons as well. Especially elite cannon galleons will, but I'm not sure if Dravidians get them. We should switch now for Lavalarm. Switch works because there's not really any economy here for Poivron to suggest that going into Eagles is viable. Or maybe it is. He has got the food and gold income to add some Eagles here to deal with the trash unit that is Skirmishers. Capram coming in front there as well, distracting the Skirmisher fire, so Poivron loses Furor. Arbalest there, able to focus fire the Skirmishers, while the Capram is soaking Skirmisher's fire. Looks like the castle might go down. Do we have stone to repair? No stone to repair, but look at the resources in the bank here for Dying to the Boar. It's still much healthier overall for Dying to the Boar. Now some slip up for Poivron here, losing quite a few arbalists to the dirt. Cheap Byzantine skirmishers, good. And resource efficient trades here for Lavalarm, still keeping that hill, losing the castle, yes, but what's to stop him from being ready landing and planting another one? Buys the stone for ridiculous amounts of gold here. Is that a good idea at this point? They don't have trade running yet. Gold is precious. Yes, it's been investing mainly into skirmishers, but oh no, that castle's gonna go down to the trebuchets fire. There's nothing here to deal with these trebuchets, so that castle might not complete. Mike G coming in here with some cavaliers to snipe the trebuchets. Will he be able to? Oh, that's an expensive castle. There's barely even stone to repair that one. I'm not too sure if I'm a fan of that castle investment. Needs to buy more stone or mine more stone. There's still stone to be mined over here for Lavalarm. They could sling each other, they have stone in the bank as well. But the push in the north keeps going, as we have a Magyar's castle on the way and more stables going up as well. The economy is still untouched at home, but the farming economy leaves much to be desired for Mike G over here. The fishing economy also not too convincing here to keep many stables producing. There is a die added from Hoopla over here, as fire ships enter the area. Fire ships should be very, especially fast fire ships, should be very efficient against the Therizadai because they move so slowly. Never in doubt, says Lamadar. Well, we were about to argue it did complete for him. Still up, but Trebuchet is about to go down to Inca's Onagers here of all things. Paladin is in from Mike G. How the heck to see the economy for that? Resources might become an issue for Koala soon. It's still bringing in gold, but stone, milk, wood, all over the place. Let's see if there's any trade in the works yet. Yep, Dying to the Boar have commenced their trade, so we'll keep an eye on these stats now. Magyor's Paladin fully upgraded. Should definitely keep the Keshiks and Step Lancers away here. Good army coordination in the north side now from Dying to the War. Magyar's landing structures still able to help out the push against Blue. And Blue losing more and more ground here. Paladins moving in to raid again. Just make sure Povron can't bring in precious resources. So heavy capital coming in for the Tatars, but way too few of them to make a difference here. There are 30 Paladins on the field for Mike G now, and the army mass of Dying to the Boar is looking very convincing. Looks like they might be able to close out this game and give us the 3-2 result here, but no, isn't called it just yet. Green and Teal still got lots of things going for them on land, except they're struggling their army mass, and Kuala trying desperately to keep the naval armies away with fast fire ships here as well, but the Tiras die 250 HP. You need a mass of fire ships to take those out, and Hoopla's responsibility is to make sure that doesn't happen. Full on naval fighting for Hoopla, hasn't committed to any land unit except for maybe that one monk to collect a few relics. Have a quick glimpse at the eco losses here. Povron down to 36 villagers, lost 106 villagers. Lost all of his starting base up north, about to lose another castle to the Byzantine trebuchets now. And Cataracts even join in here, so even if you wanted to add eagles here, you just can't. GG well played, congrats is gold. It was well fought and a fantastic way to close out the 7th division with a 2-3 set between Backseat Boys and Dying to the War. They're both back for Season 6 as well, as far as I know, so we'll have to keep an eye on them and see if we place them in the same division or not. Depends on all of the same team players and whatnot, how the seeding works out. GG Adelaide. That is a 3-2 for Dying to the Boar, who have played all 5 seasons so far. So have a look at the military stats. Naval domination with the Magyar standing working out very well for Dying to the Boar here. Thanks for playing, Hoopla and team. Good sets you've given me here. Terrible at times for the most part. 4 villagers at the scout landing for the Magyar seemed a bit excessive, but it does boost the speed of the stable building on the enemy island. Could have been a clutch maneuver there since none of them had loom yet. Let's go through this again as well. Turks never played, Byzantines, Davidians, and Magyars securing the 3-2 here against the Tatars, the random Incas, and the Berbers. Which means it's time to record the result in the challenge and close it out as well. Which we can't because I had to reorder the brackets because of a small miss, but that would be dying to the boar as the 7th division champions. Only one division left to cast. I'll get back to when that might happen. Could be tomorrow already. And that will be ready for season 6. GG, well played. See you next time.